done got my life back, just like that. I can't go back, and I won't go back. I done got my life back.
Good day to you all, and welcome to another live stream with me, Paul, Addict Mentor. I was someone who spent 27 years as an active heroin and crack cocaine addict, and in that time, I spent my time living on the streets, 22 years in prison, committing all sorts of criminal acts. Today, I wanted to come and talk to you about my life before my criminal record. I want to talk to you about what I used to get up to as a child. Yesterday, I went to a knife crime seminar, and it got me thinking, what did I used to do as a preteen? You know, at this point, I was in a residential home. I was getting to go home to my parents maybe once or twice a month, going back to Lotley's in Bristol, hanging around with all my mates. All of a sudden, I was the bad boy because I was at a residential school, known for naughty kids. What was I doing? And it got me thinking. Back in the 1990s, I lived in Brangwyn Grove, Lotley's, just off Gainsborough Square. Now, this was a time when there was a lot of ram raiding going on, a lot of car thefts going on, joyriding happening, motorbike theft. And I was part of that. I never got nicked for any of this stuff, but this is what I used to get up to. So we'd meet up on a weekend because, like I said, during the weeks and every other weekend, I was at my school being fucked over. So I used to come home and try to have some normal semblance of life, but, I used to get fucked over there as well. So it was really difficult for me, but I had an outlet. My earliest crimes I can remember, to be honest with you, we used to go around Bristol, all around Horfield, Lotley, St Jude's, Montpellier, do you know what I mean, St Werburgh's, de-tagging cars, taking tags off of cars, right? For no reason. We just collected car tags, the Gear tag, the Volkswagen tag, the Jaguar tag, the Mercedes tag. We would just take these tags off of cars. And back then, we didn't think of it as criminal acts. We were just taking tags off cars. We had a thing about collecting them. So I used to do that. But then I progressed. At the same time, I was starting to sample substances because at this time I was at school sniffing Tipex. I was stealing aerosol Glade from the chemists and stuff from the shops, and I used to sniff aerosols till I got buzzed out. And we used to go around nicking motorbikes, man. Oh my God, we stole some motorbikes. I'm really sorry to all of my fellow Bristolians from back in the day who had their bikes nicked. I know it was an epidemic. We used to have DT50s, DT125s, CRZs, X50s, Club 90s, the Honda step-through clubs. We used to have all those, and we used to just race them around Lotley's fields. Rip, rip, rip. I remember one day, I let my mate, Stephen Hammer, I had this DT, I'd had it for about a week or something, used to stash it, go back, hoping it was still there the next day, and it was like, yeah, we still got the bike, man, who's going to the garage to get some petty? Do you know what I mean? It was that kind of a thing. One day, I let my mate Stephen Hammond have a go. Now, he's from Lotley's. His family were really nice to me. It was the only other black family I knew. And I was on the back. And we're going across the field flat out. You know what I mean? Two young kids. Like I said, we were like 12 years old. and we're going on this fucking DT beep, 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 across the field. We've hit the bumps. Now I know these bumps are coming because I ride the field all the time, but this kid, Stephen Hammond, he wasn't too fresh on it, and we've hit the bump. And as we've come out of one bump into another, he wasn't ready for it. The bike flipped, we folded, the handlebars split, and the ring of the handlebar had no rubber on it. So as it come up like that, my face has just gone wha-bam, like poof, right there, split. I've got the scar to this day, right there. And that is from getting on the back of a DT50 with my mate Stephen Hammond. Big up all the Hammond family, by the way. They were a massive, like, really lovely to me. The mum, God rest her, she used to make banana bread for me, take me to church, even though you know what I was like about church and stuff like that. So we were out nicking motorbikes. We were out detagging cars. And then it turned into nicking cars. Now, Bristol, I don't know about the rest of the world, right? All I can tell you about what Bristol was like, it was an epidemic. This was the time of the Calibra 16 valve, the Calibra 24 valve, the SRI Novas. This is the time when people, they used to pull up outside the police station going beep, beep in a nicked car just to get a police chase. I've had many, many, many police chases, but I'm going to tell you about one. I'll tell you about one of them I had. And like I said, I wasn't even old enough to drive at this point. I've got a Vauxhall Cavalier 1.6, right? So I've got this Vauxhall Cavalier and I'm cruising through Bristol. I could drive. I've been able to drive for a very long time. I'm cruising through Bristol in a stolen car. Do you know what I mean? Doing my do. All of a sudden, I got blue lighted. I was in Lawrence Weston. I'm not going to say where. I was in what time or where, you know, I'm not stupid. But I was in Lawrence Weston. And I was getting blue lighted. And I had this girl. She was about 17 in the car. We weren't doing anything. I had a nicked car. She thought it was gangster. I was a kid, but I was massive. So I've got her in this car and we're getting blue lighted. First thing I used to do when I got blue lighted was take the seatbelt off. Keep the seatbelt on when I was driving, trying to be legal. As soon as it come, take the seatbelt off, get up nice and close, up front, and ready to go. So I've taken the seatbelt off. I've got a bit of a chase. As I've took the corner, I've gone onto the embankment, but I'm ready, right? So the police car's up on me. This car that I'm in, I've not even let it stop. Open the door. I've darted straight across the road into this field. It's dark. The helicopter, well, I don't think it was around at this time. I don't think the police helicopter was around at this time. I've darted straight into a field, disappeared into like this thick hedges, and I'm led there. And I'm hearing police. Yes, Danny M. Wagwan, my G. How are you doing, mate? Oh, Leon as well. Leon's in the building. Sorry, I was just talking. So, no, I've got no drug habit whatsoever, yeah? But I'm sat led in the field, hiding from the police and police dogs. Anyway, I got away from that situation. I never got nicked for it. The first time I ever got nicked for any car offences was I was about 16. But before then, it was crazy. We were out doing all of these things. And it got me thinking about criminal youth justice at the moment. It is crap. We got kids going around they're not nicking cars anymore. They're not nicking motorbikes. And if they are, they're not doing it sly. They're doing it blatantly. They're going out and they're getting a grinder out and just trying to do it while the people are in the house and they're pulling out machetes. Now, how do we stop this machete, the zombie knife, these big weapons getting put into our kids? You know, because my kids are 6 and 8 respectively, right? And I promise you, I can see what's in their future around where I live, and it has to change. So I'm thinking that the government has to up the laws, the sentencing laws, not only on knife crime, but carrying of the article. And they have to reduce the age of criminal responsibility, because whether they're being groomed or not, if you tell a 12, 13, 14-year-old, if you carry this knife and you get caught carrying it, you're going to get 8 years in prison. They're not going to be carrying that knife, groomed or not groomed. Because let's have it right, there are many kids who have been manipulated by drug gangs up and down the country. I'm not getting into county lines today, but that's what happened. So the laws need to change. Because as a kid, I always felt like, my life was messed up. My dad abused me so bad. He fucked the shit out of me. Not literally, but he beat the crap out of me, okay? Then I was in a residential school where I was abused by both male and female members of staff. And it was messed up. So I came out of that school like a tornado. So it wasn't surprising that I went on then to commit serious violent acts and treat people like they were nothing, because that's the way I had been treated for the first 16 years of my life. But there has to be a point when we say to 12, 13, 14-year-old kids, if you're going to sell drugs, you're going to go to prison for it. If you're going to carry knives, you're going to go to prison for it. Because right now, there are no, and I mean this, there is absolutely nothing to deter children from going out and getting involved in drug gangs. Because let's have it right, the socio-economic factors right now are shit. Most kids are growing up today, they can't afford Xboxes, the brand new PS5, the sick Jordans. They can't afford the Balenciaga stuff. But if they sell drugs, they get sold that dream. They get told they can afford it. Look what my man's wearing. Look at the bling I got. All you got to do is sell this. It's easy. And if you get caught, bruv, you're underage. So don't watch nothing. And this is an issue that is going to get worse and worse and worse the longer the prices of things go up. And that's it. When the kids go back to their house and their mum and dad are struggling to put food on the table, and the kid's been out slinging gear all day, and he's got £100, £90, £50 in his pockets, and he's going, here, Dad, here's a tenner, go get some shopping. Do you think anything's going to make them stop? Do you think any policeman going into the school, even me going in and saying, right, I served 22 years in prison, and if you carry on, you're going to end up doing big time. And they're going to say, yeah, but do you know what? At least I wasn't skint. At least I wasn't being stood on. At least I wasn't being disrespected. I had family. And this is an issue because they're getting sold this fake support network. Because trust me, drug dealers, when it comes to their youngers getting put behind bars, they forget you so quick. So quick. I've had big men who I knew from road, I bought drugs off of on road, and then they're sat in jail, and guess what? No one's sending them no money. They're walking their one pair of decent trainers through the floor, and next minute they're in prison trainers. And next minute they're coming to me, ask me if they have noodles or a tin of fish that I could borrow so they couldn't get in on the next cook-up. And that is the reality of the situation at the moment. You know, it's not nice for kids going home and there is got no food on the table. I wish there was a simple answer so we could recapture what once was. But life moves on. With technology moving forward, so does human nature. And at the moment, children are killing children. Right? That's what's happening. Children are killing children. They don't have an awareness of their own mortality. And when you don't have an awareness of mortality, life or death, everything starts getting easy. Stabbing someone's like buttering bread, and it's scary. I don't even think like that. I've never thought like that. I committed violent offences to fund my drug addiction. Yes, the Douglas Graham and Mark Thomas. Wagwan Mark Thomas, aka Ramjack. I'm just having a talk about the criminal justice system at the moment. It really needs changing. When I was a kid, I was out nicking cars, I was out nicking motorbikes, but what I wasn't doing is carrying around machetes, carrying around these big off knives, and I was in the street gangs. I did represent my ends, but it was different. Today, our children do not know how to take a slap. They don't know how to handle that. So what happens when they're beefing in different area codes? They need weapons. They're not going to have a fight like you would like we did back in the day at the football. When we were at the football back in the day, we used to have a scrap just to have a scrap. You know, you'd be scrapping with someone on a Saturday, and on a Sunday or on a Monday, you're working with them, and it is not a drama. But nowadays, you can't do that because the young kids of today are so scared of getting hit. So what they do, they've gone to carrying big ass blades. The bigger the blade, the bigger the pussy, as far as I'm concerned, and I'll tell you why. Because the bigger the blade means they don't have to get so close to you. They don't know how to take a smack. In it, Libby. I hope you're all right, my beautiful. Happy Mother's Day, Libby Ross, and to all you mums out there and single dads. Happy Mother's Day indeed. So what do? We have to increase the sentencing structures. And I know there's so many people going, Paul, how can you, of all people, say that people need to get longer prison sentences? Because I would rather see a few people in prison than a lot of people dead. And that's the option you have. You either change the way the system is or continue to see your children, your children's children, and their children get stabbed by stupid kids who don't know any better. I sat in a room yesterday with two different families who've lost people through stabbing. Lee Turner was stabbed to death, but because he was a knife man himself, the guy walked out of court free. Owen Dunn was involved in the roadman lifestyle, and he got stabbed and died at 18. Now, yes, real talk, damn right, Mark. Thank you. Come on, Libby, I got you, man. Don't worry about it. Owen Dunn, his family aren't going to see him grow into a man. They're not going to see anything. And it's not just them. There are hundreds of families being added to this list every year in the UK. We're not America. We don't let the crime just keep going on and on and on and closing our eyes to it and hoping that it will go away. We're bloody British. Actually identify the problem, which is knife crime. And then we move on. And then we deal with the knife crime. And if the rules that have obviously are now very, very outdated do not change, the kids are still going to continue to die. If the rules don't work, we have to fix the rules. And yes, I've done 22 years in jail. And how can you sit here and say about sending people to prison, Paul? You were a criminal yourself. Yes, I was a criminal. But I was a criminal I was a criminal because I needed to get money for drugs. I didn't deal with my mental health. I didn't deal with my childhood trauma, which took me into doing whatever I could to cope. I started with Tipex, for Christ's sake. Then I moved on to aerosols, and then I moved on to smoking and snorting a bit of speed. And then it progressed for me. Everything was just about hiding. But the kids today, they're committing these horrible murders because someone comes from a different area in their town or city, village even. It is nuts. It needs to stop. And guess what? You've just had the best 20 minutes of Paul Addict Mentor I think you are ever going to get. I love all of you who come on, listen, like, share, and subscribe to my channels and stuff. Please, all of you, check out my content on YouTube. Check out my content on TikTok because, you know, things are happening. Let me tell you, yesterday I had a meeting. Today I've already had messages with Will Stone, a Labour councillor, talking about getting me on the Swindon Parish Council's holiday rota on the schedule. So people would be coming to me and listening to me as part of their holiday schedule, like the kids who go to play schemes and things like that. You're absolutely blown away. I'm going to be working with Best. They're an excellent charity from Swindon. I am going on multiple podcasts. All of this stuff is happening because I got clean and sober. I've been cracking away at this solidly now, this social media thing, for 2 years. I'm 2 years into a 5-year plan, not even 2 years into a 5-year plan. And I am so far ahead of where I ever thought I would be. And I just want to thank every single one of you who come on, support me. Mark, AJ, aka Ramjack, mate. You're a legend. You sparked a fire in me that has made me want to put this event on. We do need people to support us by sending the virtual stars that cost you money to send on Facebook, because we need to get that $100 up, because that $100 will pay for the renting of the community center that we need for the 26th. So if anyone is able to do that, please just send them. You can send them while watching my videos on Facebook. You'll see the ones. They're there. And then we're going to put on this amazing event on the 26th of May. And it's going to be Jungle Soldier. It's going to be a fantastic night, Ian. I know you're going to be there. I know Libby's going to be there. I know we're all going to have a fantastic night. So please, 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 just send me some stars if you can. If you don't want to do that way, please support through the GoFundMe link. That is now linked to my Facebook. It's linked to my Insta. It's linked across the board. Thank you so much, Mark. Big respect to you. And remember, man, we do recover. Have a fantastic day. Peace, love, and unity to all.